We're gonna talk some more liposuction, getting skinny, feeling more confident about yourself. You want to get rid of those bellies? This is one of my favorite of all time. Is when someone comes in with the concern that everyone says they keep asking me if I'm pregnant. And how annoying is that got to be? I mean, I can only imagine being asked something that's, it's, when you're not pregnant and you have a belly like this, it's embarrassing every single time. And I'm sure it gets really old. So to be able to solve a problem like that is, man, I don't even, I can't imagine what that does for the confidence. But I do know that because she was so happy, she's told so many people. And in fact, her sister is coming in this next month, and she actually has a very similar shape to her. Now they're not the same person, so we don't know for sure how the results are going to turn out. We're going to do the best that we can do, right, and hope for the amazing results. So, but examples like this are here to show you what is possible with this type of procedure. And it's not this, not everybody has this potential, but if you do, man, imagine what your life could be like after getting these type of results. What's up, Lizzie, Therese, Rosalind, Gomez, Sylvia on Instagram? What's up, Rebecca, Lola, Mecca Love? All right. Is this Nish? LMSW? I'm not sure who that is. Catherine, Lila, what's going on? Hey, if you have any questions or concerns, I'm happy to answer them for you. But right now, those of you who are ready to change your life, we have this amazing opportunity, 15% off. The deal with this 15% off is that you need to place your deposit by the end of this month. So you got a little bit of time this month. Place your deposit by the end of this month and get the procedure by the end of next month. 15% off. This is gonna, some of those people who, you felt like that you were crunched for cash, you were almost there, but not quite. 15% is gonna get you over the edge, get you off the bench, and let's change your life. Because I want the people that are just so sick and tired of their situation, so sick and tired of being called pregnant or being asked if they're pregnant, so sick and tired of this belly getting in their way, restricting them, having that belly sit on your lap. I mean, I'm sure nobody likes that. If you're tired of it, it's time to change. You just don't have to wait. You don't have to, look, we have a patient recently. She was a 74-year-old, and she came in, and this was her 4th procedure with us, and she's been a long-time patient of ours for, many years, and she's had many, procedures. She gets some small procedures, but somebody might say, well, 74 is too old. And that's just simply not the truth. There is no age limit to liposuction. It's about being healthy. And this young lady, 74 years old, she had a great attitude and she was healthy. She takes care of herself. She eats right. She exercises. And she's just, when I told her that people ask me if in their 50s, if they're too old for liposuction, and she got a big hearty laugh when she heard me say that. So I was explaining to her how she can be an example for someone who thinks they're too old and thinks that they shouldn't get liposuction because it's too late. And now here's the truth. It doesn't matter how long you live after you get this procedure. It's better to be happy with your body for whatever period of time. If it's a month, a year, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, whatever it is, wouldn't it be better to just feel good about yourself for whatever period of time? So she realized this, and she understands that there's no point in waiting, because if you can feel better about yourself now, then you're gonna kick yourself. Like she kicks herself. She said, why didn't I do this when I was younger? Why did I wait so long? People kept telling me you shouldn't get it. You just diet and exercise. And she listened to them. And she listened to them until she realized she got to a certain point where she's like, why am I waiting? why aren't I doing these things? And she got the procedure, and then once she got it, it was just a matter of time she wanted to get another procedure. So it solves problems for people that, it gets you in this position to where you feel better about yourself. What's up, Janet? Georgina? Okay, Janet asks, been following since Candy Lover got her procedure. Yeah, Candy Lover got amazing results, but she's also an example, especially since she's a public figure, she's an example of what happens when you don't change your lifestyle after this procedure. So when you don't change your lifestyle after this procedure, it's possible to gain weight again. Now, the fat doesn't reproduce, so it's unlikely that you're going to gain a substantial amount of weight in the area that we treated. However, you still have fat on your body, so when you gain weight, that's where you will appreciate the additional weight gain. Now, Candy Lover, we treated her upper body, so her bra rolls and her arms. We also treated her midsection, but we didn't treat her thighs. And so my understanding is she's gained some weight, and you can see this stuff, but it's an example of seeing the reasons why you should focus on changing your diet and exercise and your lifestyle. Because liposuction is a tool. It's a tool for you to utilize. We can get all this fat off your belly or wherever you want to get it removed from, whether your thighs, your arms, your chin, this double chin. It's so easy. We can remove these things and make big dramatic change in a short period of time, and all you have to do is maintain it. All you have to do is start eating right, start exercising more, start drinking plenty of water. I mean, the chin is such an easy procedure. It's like there's no reasons why you would wait. I'm sure if you have, if you've lost that jawline, you have this double chin, it's embarrassing, especially if you didn't have it your whole life. If you had it your whole life, maybe you got used to it. It's probably still embarrassing, but you don't like it. And you can see how the chin, treating the chin and the jowls and the neck, it can change the shape of your face. As you gain weight, you get more this oval round face, but if with a simple liposuction, we can take the fat from down here and it makes the face more oval, elongated. It also defines this jawline so you can see that jawline better. Excuse me. Now, we talk a lot about the treating of the abdomen because it's by far the most commonly treated area. But the truth is that liposuction can be treated on any part of your body, anywhere that you have fat. We have many people that treat the arms, and you can see in this picture here, the arms, when you have this issue, it's like they get this waddle, right? So they don't like it when this skin hangs down here, and it's like the what do they call it? The pageant wave. So they move the hand as opposed to the arm, right? And so these girls have learned to do this because they don't like the waddle, or they don't never put the arm up like that. The other issue they have is their arms simply don't fit in the shirts. So when you wear a shirt, it doesn't fit in there, so it bulges out. That's embarrassing for them, so they end up wearing sleeveless, which then exposes the part that they don't like the most. So getting the arms treated is an easy thing, and many times when people have issues with the bigger arms, they'll also have fat in the underarm. We call this the front bra roll, and this is a large breast kind of roll into that armpit and make it so the breasts blend in. So we can define that by taking the armpit out. Also, you'll notice that if you have that fullness in the armpit, when you put your arm down, you can't quite put your arm down. So you may be walking with your elbows out to the side because you have this big fat pad under the armpit. So we can get rid of that. Also, you can see in the picture, this upper back here, right up here on the top, you can see that speed bumps that she's got, the muffin top of the bra. And that's something, again, it's just volume. It's just fat that's when you compress it, it causes those ripples. So removing the fat, as you can see in the after photo, makes the speed bumps go away. So if you have those little bumps that you can see through your shirt, and most women don't like that. They know it's visible, and they know it's obvious why they're there, because you had that fullness back there. It also, when you have that fullness in the underarm and the upper back, it makes your back look wider. So some people joke about saying they look or they feel like a linebacker because they're so broad and wide that It's not a good look for a female. And this is something that I treated my mom. And when you make the arms smaller and the back smaller, it gives it definitely a more feminine look. And I thought my mom was buff when I was growing up. I was like proud of her. I got a buff mom. She's tough. She'll kick your butt, right? In reality, she was a little bit heavier and overweight, and But when we took it away, it was all of a sudden she has this more feminine look to her. She felt more feminine. She started dressing more feminine. So it's something that can definitely help your confidence when you have this upper body fullness. And people that have these issues, they also have that chin issue. So that's why if you check with our quick quote, now the quick quote is a way for you can get instant quote. And so you go to our website, myshapelipo.com, you click on the link, and you're gonna answer a few questions, put in some basic information, identifying information for you, and then you can select the packages that we put together. I've created those packages to get the biggest, most dramatic change and remove the maximum amount of fat in one procedure. So we have our upper body package, which includes the arm, the underarm, the upper back, as well as the chin. It's all included in one. We'll do Smart Lipo on the chin for the skin tightening, and we'll also do it on the arms. These are the areas that are most likely to need the skin tightening. But I'd like you just to see this picture to understand that just because you have extremely large arms doesn't mean that you have to get anything cut away. Again, the plastic surgeons will utilize this story that you will have an empty sac of skin after the procedure. That's what they tell you. And it's told to you only to cause fear and anxiety. And with fear and anxiety, they push you into the decision of one of their lifting or cutting type procedures like the tummy tuck or the arm lift, where they make a large incision and cut away the skin. Now, all of these cutting procedures leave massive scars, and there's lots of complications that come with those. So you don't have to do that. And I just pinned the link here for the instant quick quote on Instagram, so that makes it easy for you. It says, for a long time, I have avoided seeing myself naked in the mirror. Yesterday, I took photos to make the instant quote, and I didn't send anything because of the shame I felt when I looking at my body. That's Angel. Angel, you're not alone. And if you haven't joined our private Facebook group, I highly suggest you do that. It's a support group where all the women. Your story is not uncommon. All the women have some degree of this insecurity, this shame, they're hiding, right? So they hide, where they wear baggy clothes, they don't take pictures, they don't like the way that they look, they're embarrassed, right? So what do you do when you're embarrassed and you don't like the way that you look? You avoid, you hide, you cover up. And all of this is when you get down to the root, is you feel a certain way, and that feeling is what you want to get rid of. You want to get rid of this feeling like I'm not good enough, like I'm, like I don't look the way that I want to look, and that feeling makes you act a certain way. So the feeling manifests in your life, and you inhibit yourself and limit yourself in many, many aspects of your life. And the reality is you probably have no idea how much of life you are missing out on. You may have an idea, but right now, when you're able to get rid of these problems that cause the insecurity, that all of a sudden it's like taking the blanket off of you, and now you can see the world as the way it really is, and you can see yourself the way you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to have all these fat ripples, and you're not supposed to have that, and you know that, and that's why it bothers you so much, because it was the poor lifestyle habits that caused these type of things. And at some point in your life, you realize that it's the lifestyle habits, and you realize that the things that you have done in the past is what caused your problems now. And at some point, you have to take responsibility for yourself. It's no one else's fault other than yourself. So you may not like looking in the mirror, but you're the one that ultimately caused these issues. And I know that's hard to hear. It is. I get it. I get it. It's hard to hear that. But when you realize that the cause is you, all you have to do is change you. And you can do that. You can't change other people. That's not possible. You're not going to change me. You're not going to change anyone else. But you can change you. It's the only thing that you have control of in this world. You can't control outside things, outside of the function of your body. You can't control any of it. Okay? But you can control your actions. We have this thing we call free will. So you can make these choices. And at some point you realize that enough is enough. I'm tired of this shit. And you draw a hard line in the sand. I'm done with this. And I'm not going back to that fat chick. I'm not going back to that lifestyle where I'm going to continue to deteriorate my body and make myself unhealthy to where you're going to have an untimely death. Because that's what happens. When you gain weight, look, I talked to a patient the other day and they told me, they said, I realized my friends that were, in their 70s and 80s, that none of them, not a single one of them is obese. And it made them realize, like, holy shit, I got to get thinner or else I'm not going to make it past my 50s or 60s. And unfortunately, that's the case. And you don't want to hear this. I promise you, if you're very overweight, you don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. And you have to hear it or else you're never going to change. And you'll just accept what you have right now, but you don't have to. You don't have to accept it. I never accepted this. She came into me with that belly and said, I don't accept that crap. I'm going to get rid of it. And that's exactly what we did. And it happened for her, it can happen for you. And it's not just her, it's lots of people. You keep watching these pictures here, and if you're new to this channel, definitely get onto our private Facebook group. The private Facebook group is your opportunity to connect with our previous patients. And right now we have this contest going on where I'm trying to encourage my previous patients to become influencers for all of those who are interested in getting this procedure. So you may be new to this channel, you're questioning, is this real? Is this right? I see these pictures, I can't believe it because I don't see them anywhere else. Is this possible? Or is it just a one-time thing? No, this is real. And I don't, you don't have to trust me. That's why we created the private Facebook group where our patients go there to share their own stories. They post their pictures. You notice these pictures are crappy quality. Most of them are crappy quality, and it's because they're not ours. These are the pictures that the patients themselves are posting publicly. We're just pulling them down from the public channels. What's up, Raquel? What's up, Audra? Audra's one of our previous patients. She's like one of the lipo superheroes, had these amazing results. And she took her results and parlayed it by changing her mind and changing her body, changing her habits. And you can see that the confidence in her is just skyrocketed. And she's now dressing in these sexy outfits, and I see her, she's always going to pool parties and beaches, and she's traveling. And when you want to talk about like living your best life, you look to people that are doing things that make them happy. And if you're hiding and you're avoiding situations that you don't want to be seen a certain way, or you don't want to be around people, or you want to be able to cover up a certain things, you're missing out on the potential of a better life. And I'm not saying you can't live a good life without doing this. That's not truth. It's possible, but if you are living this isolated life, this restrictive life, this limited life where you isolate yourself from seeing people, you limit your activities because you maybe you can't do the things, because you're heavier, you carry more weight. Maybe you have pains in your back and your knees and your joints because you're carrying so much weight, and it limits your life. And maybe you're not thinking limit your life by like length, because that's hard for people to really imagine, because we all think we're gonna live forever, or like we have this idea that we can do the things now that hurt us, and we just kick the can down the road. But the truth is at some level you understand and you realize that when you do things like you're smoking cigarettes or you're drinking alcohol, these things are slowly killing you. It's a poison. You're putting a poison into your body. And I think we all knew it, but we realized that, and we were thinking like, well, I know somebody who's 80 years old and they're still smoking. That's great. Good for them. But I'm trying to live to be 150. And so I don't think any people that are smoking cigarettes are going to live to be 150. Just saying. And you might say 150, that's crazy. Yeah, it is. But so what? I think it's possible. I think that you can change your lifestyle and maintain your body just like you would your car, where you change oil on the car on a regular basis, your tires go bad, you just change them out. Uh, you need a new radiator, you need new whatever, you just change it out. Well, with our bodies, it's getting to the point where we can do the same thing. Now, the first thing that we do with our bodies and maintaining is, you know, our bodies have all these organs that are the primary goal is to detoxify and eliminate waste and toxins. And so we are on this great earth and we have this body in order to move around and engage with our environment. And in doing so, we're exposing ourselves to various toxins. And the toxins come from all over the place. There's toxins in the air, there's toxins that we breathe in, there's toxins that we're putting on our skin through like lotions and gels and hair products, makeup, deodorant. There's toxins in all these things. And now our bodies take in these toxins and our organs are meant to detoxify them and they work pretty well. But at some point, decades of intaking toxins, that the toxins get the best of us. And so it's important for you to consciously work to better cleanse the organs and improve the detoxifying effect of our body. And if you can do that, your organs will last longer. If your organs last longer, so does the rest of the body. Now, there's other technology that's super exciting. Now, I've been studying longevity and the ability to live long, and so I've been studying this stuff. And there's new technologies coming on the market. All of us know about the ability to clone, right? And it's a big controversial subject, the ability to clone. And most of us think, well, cloning is taking one human and cloning another human, the exact person. And so there's a lot of controversy with that. And yes, that is technically cloning. However, what they can do as well is they can take your heart and clone your heart. Or they can take your kidney, they can take other organs and clone your organ, so you get a identical clone. And the identical clone is not the same old deteriorated one. It grows new cells, and it's as if you can get implanted back in you a new organ, like say a liver, a kidney, heart. You get this new organ that is yours, except it's yours when you were in your 20s, in your 30s, right? So all of a sudden, just like we replace the tires, we're replacing the organs. And now you live longer. So now you might start thinking, well, maybe I can live longer, right? I know my grandparents died when they were in their 80s. That's what, what the expected range was. But technology has changed. The knowledge and wisdom has changed. We are getting more information now through science, that we are learning ways to enhance the body. We are learning ways to modify the body, and we're learning ways to make our body work better than it has ever. And there's just simple things that you need to do. Now, I've discussed these habits that if you can change these habits in your life, these simple, basic, foundational habits in your life, if you can get them right, you can bake in the longevity. And so what I mean is, like, when you do these habits, you have to do it consistently. It's not like a one time. It's not like you smoke one cigarette and you're gonna end up dying. It doesn't work that way. And same thing with doing the good stuff. If you do good stuff once, it's not gonna last. So you have to do these habits and make them consistent every single day. And here's the people say, well, that's hard. I got to do something every day. Well, yeah, but you do bad stuff every day anyways. You're already doing something every day, right? If you're doing something that is harming you and making things worse for you, then you need to change that and change it to something else that is, instead of harming you, is making you better, making you healthier, allowing your body to live longer. So simple habits. Okay, drink more water. The recommendations, our bodies are 70% water. You should be drinking half of your body weight in ounces every single day. A lot of people will drink a gallon a day. Okay, so Drinking water will keep everything hydrated. The fluid is your blood is fluid. The blood circulates all the nutrients and everything. So if you don't have enough water, your blood is like sludge. Our organs are all filtration devices. So if you have thick, viscous blood and it filters this, like imagine it's like filtering mud or sludge. It doesn't get through, so the organs get clogged up. So more water, it liquefies things and it makes the whole process work easier. And when these organs work easier, metabolism picks up, all your functions in your body start working, and you'll be amazed that you start losing weight. Simply drinking water, right? Okay, next thing is activity level. You gotta move, right? If you don't move, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that applies to every aspect of your body. So if you're not moving, eventually you're gonna lose it. How do you lose it? You end up getting arthritis, you end up getting pains, back pains, you end up, your muscles starting to tighten, so it restricts you. So if you don't move it, you lose it. And also the mobility, if you're not burning the calories that you produce on a daily basis or that you intake on a daily basis, and you may have where you're intaking more calories than you're able to burn, and when that happens, your body will effectively store the calories, and it stores it as fat. So gotta move. Super, super important. And now it doesn't have to be, running marathons, but you gotta move. You gotta get out and walk. Park your car further away, walk up the stairs, challenge yourself. You gotta do something. You gotta move. Stop trying to sit on the couch. Sitting on the couch and sitting all day is gonna kill you. They say, couch potatoes are the new smokers. So it's really that bad for you. You have to move. Your bodies are meant to function, and if they don't function, if you're not moving them on a daily basis, it's just like your old car. It's gonna rust, and you're not gonna be able to use it anymore. So if you leave your car sitting out in the backyard, never use it, don't turn it on, and don't do anything, it'll look the same, but it'll deteriorate on the inside. The things won't function anymore. And then when you go to start it, maybe the battery's dead, the brakes are bad, or whatever the case. See, Angel says, how to take that last step. I lack the courage to do it. Okay, Nish says, do you remove silicone injections from buttocks? Okay, so how do you take the last step? Angel, that's why I suggest getting to the group, because you'll be able to connect with individuals who they're in the same boat as you. Same insecurities, same struggles, same issues. And they had the same problem, and you'll see when they talk to you, and they've got on here before. These girls is you just have to take that leap. You just have to jump and just do it, because it's look, if you're happy with where you are now, then you just stay right there. But if you're unhappy, you have to do something. You have to do something, whatever it is. You got to do something, because you can't continue to do the same stuff and be unhappy. Otherwise, you're gonna feel like life is pointless, and you're gonna continue to get more and more depressed. And it already sounds like you slid down this slope of depression and insecurities. So this is really, you just have to, you just have to be like, fuck it, I'm doing it. That's it. And just make a decision and go. And then once you start the process, we'll push you down the road. So your next step, Angel, is get the formal consultation. Get the formal consultation. Meet with me. Pay $100. It'll commit you to it. Pay $100. Now you're committed. Okay, you're serious about this. Now you get on the phone with me, and I'll talk my magic. I'll motivate you. I'll inspire you. When we get there, we're going to figure out a plan for you. And then the next step is put your deposit down. Again, when you put the deposit down, it commits you. We make it more difficult for you to back out, because people want to back out. If we make it easy for you, you probably will. That's why we make it a little bit challenging. You got to commit to this. So you put your deposit down, and you take that one step further. Okay? Then it's just show up. You just got to show up. All you have to do is show up, and we'll take care of everything else. Just show up the day of the procedure. We'll take care of everything else after that. Just show up. And in life, you just have to show up. When it's time for the gym, just show up. Once you get there, you'll figure it out. Don't be so have so much anxiety, and you're thinking so much and worrying so much about negativity. You got to start focusing on the positivity. If you're focused on negative, that's all you'll see. You have to start thinking about all the positive things that you're going to get from this, and focus on that. if you focus on all the positives, you'll start thinking about the positives more often. See, when you focus on the negatives, you only see the negatives and you focus on them and it feels like crap. So you got to change. This is part of the change. It's a process. Okay, Nish says, do you remove silicone injections from the butt? I do not remove silicone injections from the butt. Terrible procedure, by the way. So I understand why you'd want to get them removed. Bulletproof says, is this procedure okay to do while nursing, or should we wait? Also, how fast can we return to work after the procedure? So nursing, after a pregnancy in general, you want to wait 6 months, but I would further that to, I would wait 6 months after nursing. There's lots of hormones that are circulating through the body after pregnancy, after nursing. And somehow, I don't know how it does this, but somehow it messes with the integrity of the fat, and it makes it very difficult to remove the fat with all those hormones circulating in your body. So with that said, I have done patients that we did it less time than the 6 months, and it turns out okay. And I've also done a few patients that we done in a shorter time period, and it was really, really difficult, and I was limited. And that's the reason why I give that advice. Look, if you want to push the limits, you want to, there's really no medical reasons why you have to wait. It's just it's a philosophical reason, and it's based on my experience. But if your choices are different, you're in a rush or something like that, I can only explain to you what my experience is, and then you have to make the decisions based off of that. What's up, Raineris, Rockstar T, Rosha Zaman, something like exotic. All right. Star Legacy. I had a patient come in to the office today, and she was on my live probably a couple of weeks last week maybe, and she asked if we allow for walk-ins. And I said, no, we don't do walk-ins. You got to call before you come. And so what does she do? She just shows up today. So she shows up, walks in, right? And I just happened to be there, and she looked at me like I was a star, and she was like, glad, big eyes, and she was amazed, and she was super excited to see me. So of course I went out and took pictures with her, and we talked to her, and I was hoping she was going to be on today, so because she was, when I mentioned her name live, she said it made her feel really good. So that's why I mentioned these names. I like you guys to feel involved in this, because you know what? Without you, then I'm talking to nobody. So Angie Aguilar, what's up? Teresa, Carla, Ibet, Diana Corral says, this is facts. Definitely have to move. Yes. Okay, so we were talking about habits, right? So we got drinking water, and we got moving. Now, moving might be working out, might be playing basketball, it might be playing tennis, it might be playing pickleball, it might be walking, it might be riding a bike. You just have to move. You have to do something. And I would suggest, you want to move all of your joints. So your arms, you got to get your arms moving, twisting of the spine. You got to get movement to the spine. You got to get movement to the hips, the legs. You have to move everything. If you're not moving this stuff, just like a car, it's going to rust. It's going to deteriorate. So you got to keep moving, right? And you'll find that as you get older, you get stiffer. And so here's the paradox. This is what people believe that I'm gonna, this is I'm gonna pull the wool over your eyes, or out from under your eyes, that people believe that running and weight-bearing exercises cause the arthritis of the joints. And now I'm speaking from personal experience. Before I did liposuction, I did orthopedic surgery for about 6 years, did tons and tons of orthopedic surgery, total joint replacements, total hips, knees, shoulders. So I know this stuff. And I can tell you that the patients that were getting these procedures, their thought process was, I ran less and did less so I didn't wear out the joints faster. This is the mindset of the people. But I can tell you that those were the people that got it. Their joints deteriorated a lot faster. Not just a little bit, a lot faster. And the ones that pushed through the discomfort and continued to move, they lasted a lot longer. Like years longer, until they needed a total joint replacement. Now, in some cases, they didn't need a total joint replacement. As you stay active, you use it or lose it. And I'll tell you, there's a thought of why this is. Now, when you stay still, the movement the movement doesn't your body doesn't create the natural lubricating substance, which is the synovial fluid. And the synovial fluid is almost like an oily substance within the joint. When you move the joint, your body will naturally create this synovial fluid, which acts like a lubricant. It acts like a lubricant. So then when you are moving it, even though you may have damage to the joint surface, it's lubricated and it's smooth. It moves a little bit better. Now, not to say that you're not still going to have discomfort, not to say that your joint may not continue to deteriorate, but I can tell you this, that if you stop moving, your joint will deteriorate quicker. Okay? Your muscles will deteriorate quicker. Okay? And your metabolism slows down. None of these are good things. So keep moving. Get active. Do something. Just get out. Okay, what's next? The next habit I want to talk about is sleep. These are foundational habits, right? Foundational things. If you're not getting enough sleep, it affects every aspect of your body, everything. Okay, and especially your will to do. When you feel tired, you don't want to do anything. When you feel tired, you got a headache, and you're depressed, and you just want to lay down and not move and not do anything. And that's counterintuitive to everything we've been talking about. And when you stay sedentary, the sedentary lifestyle, remember, sedentary is like the smoking cigarettes. Okay, staying sedentary is what's going to kill you. You have to move, and in order to move, you got to have plenty of water. And in order to stay healthy, you got to get your sleep. Okay, recommendations for adults is to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I would skew more towards the 8 hours. And test this. Everybody's a little bit different. But test it, get more sleep, and see if you're comfortable. And maybe you don't need enough, and you get less. But I'll tell you one thing that I've learned is that if you don't track your sleep, you will have no idea how much sleep you're actually getting. And the truth is, when you're tracking, you can't just write down, okay, I went to sleep at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever, and then I woke up at whatever time. When you get into bed and when you wake up is not the same as the time you slept, not by a long shot. When I started tracking this, and you track it with a device, and so I use this device called a Whoop. That's WHOOP, Whoop. And there's also one called an Oura Ring. And these devices, they track your pulse, your heart rate, the heart rate variability, which is another thing. It also tracks your breathing, as well as your sleep. And so it tracks your sleep, and so it can tell whether you're sleeping based off of the functions of your body. And it can tell you that you may be awake for a period of time, and then you'll be in REM sleep, the rapid eye movement, and then you'll be in deep sleep, which is more that restorative sleep. Now, if you're not going through this natural cycle of sleep throughout the night, then you're not getting proper sleep. And if you feel tired when you wake up in the morning and you require coffee, see, some people believe that everybody requires coffee because everybody drinks it. Right? But the truth is if you get enough sleep, you're not tired. I haven't, to be honest with you, I really do like coffee, but I haven't drank coffee on a regular basis for years because I get enough sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm not tired. And I wake up in the morning, I get up and I start moving right away. I start doing my stretching exercises, so I maintain mobility, and I do my workouts in the morning, because to me, those are the most important things. And so, life lesson, do the first things first. So the most important things to you, you got to get them done first thing in the morning. Now, once you get them done, you have the rest of the day to screw off, right? And you can feel good about yourself because I did all the good things, all the things that I needed to do. I did it first thing in the morning, and I have the rest of the day to do whatever I want. What's up, Taylor? Mini Ball, Hadley, welcome. Vero, Ellie, Angelica Angular, Anna, Cordy. You guys have any questions, I'm here for you. If you're looking for pricing, we have on our website, go to myshapelipo.com, and the pricing is right there. You can click on the quick quote. The quick quote will allow you to enter some basic information, and depending on your options that you choose, it'll give you a pretty accurate quote for someone your size. And we base this, we've done various categories, and the categories allow you to get the safety protocol as well as the recommendations for someone in your size. And you see, this is a cool thing. This is immediately, while she's on the table, you can see this belly's changed, significantly smaller. Look, we make big dramatic changes. We're not making like little tiny changes here. When people say, well, am I gonna notice a difference? Yes, absolutely. That's the only reason why you would get this procedure. You are going to see a difference, and a big difference. It's gonna be a big dramatic change for you. Even smaller people. Look, we have smaller people that get this procedure, and it still makes a big change because look, we can create these curves, create these hourglass figure. But you see, even these smaller individuals, and I'm sure their friends and family are like, what are you doing this for? You're crazy. You don't need this. But look at the difference. It goes from good to great. Good to great. From a 7 to a 9. Like this is your body upgrade. When we upgrade our phones, we upgrade our cars, we upgrade everything in our life. So when are you going to upgrade your body? You should be upgrading your mind too on a regular basis. You should be reading and educating yourself. Upgrade. It's time. It's time to upgrade. And when you're serious, the next step is getting that paid consultation. Paid consultation is it's $100 for 30 minutes of my time. I'm going to evaluate your situation, give you recommendations. I'm going to motivate you. I'm going to inspire you, and we're going to get you along this path to greatness. What's up, Isabel? It says, how does it work for people from another state? Is there a hotel or convenient to stay at? Want recovery? How about checking after? Okay, that's a great question, Isabel. About 85% of our patients are flying in from out of state. So we've tried to make this process as easy as possible. That's why the consultations, it's all virtual, so we can do that over the phone. We created these links to make it as easy as possible for you to figure out the pricing. Now, as far as the hotels, and the recommendations are that you fly in the night before the procedure, and you're going to come in and get checked in that day before, and then the next day you have the procedure. Then you want to stay for a minimum of 2 nights afterwards to allow for your healing. Now, after the procedure, you're going to be draining excessive amounts of fluid, and the fluid is used to get you numb. And so we want the fluid to drain out as much as possible after the procedure. And when you put the compression garments on, all that fluid starts to drain out. Now, that part can be pretty messy. So if you're trying to travel during that time period, it can be a big inconvenience. So a minimum of 2 nights afterwards. Some people choose to stay longer. Now, let's say you're coming by yourself. There's also a recovery house that we recommend that you can stay at, and they have a great deal. And if you're interested in that, just let us know. We'll give you the recommendations for that. Lexi is the one that does that. She's on our private Facebook group, so you can connect with her directly through that. Okay, Alice B. I don't know. Alice Beth. I don't know. Santiago, what's up? She says, I really want to do it, but I'm super scared. That's, you should go talk to the girls in the group. Look, there's someone on Instagram that's saying exactly the same thing, and you're not alone. You have concerns, and they're valid concerns. You need to speak with people who have had the procedure so they can give you recommendations and kind of ease your mind, because when you hear that someone else has been through the same issues and they had the same concerns, it just kind of eases your mind, makes you feel a little bit better. This is one of the more recent patients she posted to our group, and you can see that she planned this picture, obviously, where she took the picture of her before in the same outfit, and you can see how even through the clothes, you see how she tries to cover up that belly, that hanging belly. Lots of girls try to do that. And afterwards, she doesn't have to. I mean, in fact, you can see she's got that extra space where that belly was in the wrinkling of the pants, because she just doesn't stretch those. She doesn't stretch those pants out anymore. You're welcome, Isabel. You're welcome, Isabel. Yossi Linda. Okay. What's up, Sarah, Letty? If you're scared, if you're nervous, you're anxious, it's one of those things you just have to, you have to leap. There's risks involved. Yes, there's discomfort, there's a recovery, there's an expense. There's lots of reasons that make it challenging to do this, but you just have to jump. If you're sick and tired of the way that you've been, and you have to just make the decision that I'm done with living that lifestyle. I'm done living that way and being that way, and I'm not going to do it anymore. And when you make that decision, it's like boom, now you're able to change. You're able to change because those limiting mindsets, those thoughts, you've cast aside. I'll tell you where real world how this works. I recently had the mindset that TikTok and Snapchat were, I didn't like them. I didn't want to use them personally because I felt like it's like all the social media. They're just trying to, take our data, and you know, unfortunately, these companies are owned by countries outside of the United States. So if say China has gains access to our information, they can utilize that information against us. So as a rule, I said I didn't want to do that stuff, so I stayed away from Snapchat and TikTok. Now, in order for me to do that, to actually get on TikTok and Snapchat, I had to change my paradigm. I had to change the way that I was thinking. So instead of thinking that if I got onto these platforms that my data would be stolen and I'd be taken advantage of, because that's what I thought. Instead of thinking that, my mindset has been, well, there's a lot of my customers that are there, and we have the potential for exposure to a lot of people through these channels. And if I'm not on those channels, then I'm missing out on all the potential exposure. And so just by shifting my mindset just a little bit, just shifted my mindset a little bit, it allows me to make the decision to get onto these channels, get onto these platforms and utilize them, because I think differently now. And just like how I changed the way that I thought about Snapchat and TikTok, you can change the way that you think about these procedures, the way that you think about the different concerns that you might have. You just shift just a little bit. And if you shift just a little bit, then it allows you to make the decisions to move forward. It allows you to do the things that you want to do. And the truth is, it's just a perspective. On most of these things, it's not really the truth. The truth, I don't know what the truth is about the social media. I don't know whether they're stealing stuff. I mean, it's conspiracy, maybe. There's probably a truth to it, but I shifted my paradigm in the thought that I'm going to be utilize them for more exposure to this business, and I believe that with more exposure, I can help more people to get these kind of results, and that's ultimately what my goal is I want to help people. So if these platforms can help me to help more people, then it's worth it to me, and then that allows me to do what I want to do. Simple, right? But it's just a mindset, and you can utilize. You have to start utilizing these things. As I speak about this, it's one thing to hear these things. Oh yeah, that's the truth. Oh yeah, that's the truth. But if you don't take that and put it into your life and start utilizing these tools, then you're not getting any benefits. You're not going to get the benefits from these habit changes, these mindset tricks. This is like the Jedi tricks that you can do. This is the mental tricks that you can play on yourself to enable yourself to become more powerful. Okay? This is, it might sound like hocus pocus and stuff like that, but just try it. I personally had this belief that supplements. I told myself, we know the supplements don't actually get absorbed properly, and these companies are they're selling these things that don't actually work. And I thought it was like snake medicine, right? Or I thought that the supplements were things that just didn't work, and there was no point in spending a bunch of money to these companies and not get any results. So I thought that for decades, a long time. I didn't take any vitamins, I didn't take any supplements. I thought it was all hocus pocus. And then one day I said, you know what? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if I can take these supplements and they can benefit me? What if I can take these things and they help me to live longer? What if I can take these supplements and they help me gain more muscle, or they help me lose more weight, or they help me, whatever, right? I mean, that's why we take medications, because we believe medications can help us. So why not the supplements? Why not the natural things? So I just shifted and changed the way that I think, instead of thinking that it was a big hoax, and that these companies are taking advantage of us. Instead of thinking that, I said, What if I'm wrong? What if these things do help you? And then I acted as if that was true. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, I don't know, but I acted as if that thought was true. That thought meaning, what if I was wrong about the supplements? So in acting as if that's true, I started taking supplements. And I just, I take one at a time and test them out, and lo and behold, I started seeing changes. And it's not the problem with people is that when they start taking these supplements, they don't see it after a week, or they don't feel something, right? You don't feel, oh, I don't feel any difference, so nothing's happening. It's in your head, right? Because just because you don't feel it, just because you don't see it, doesn't mean that there's nothing happening. Things happen slowly, particularly with the supplements. And the supplements, if you think about these as like the building blocks for our body, the nutrients of our body is the building blocks. So our body intakes food, breaks it down into these building blocks, nutrients, we call them, right? And those nutrients get absorbed into our body, and it goes to the places that it's needed, and it's used to build new parts of our body, whether that's cells, regeneration, detoxifying. All these things are utilized all throughout our body. So I'm like, you know what? The food that we're eating I know it's toxic, right? I know we're exposed to a lot of issues, and so if we're getting toxins in the food, I'm thinking, what if I can get the nutrients through the supplements instead of through the food? And so I've reduced the amount of food that I ate and increased the amount of supplements that I took, and then I felt like I was getting covered. Now, the truth is I didn't really know, but I acted as if I did. And when I acted as if I did, I got these results that were absolutely mind-blowing. Unbelievable. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for about 6-7 years now, just acting as if the stuff is real. Just acting as if it's true, and in taking that leap of faith, it's just a trust, right? It's just a leap of faith. Believe it's true. I acted as if it was true, and when I did that, the results came. Now they don't come quickly. That's key. They don't come quickly, but they do come. And if you continue these things for extended periods of times, 3 months, 6 months, a year, you continue doing these good habits that people look. If someone recommends it, just try it. And if it doesn't work for you, sweep it off. It's done. Don't do it again. But if it works, you continue doing it. That's the way this game works. You have to figure out, this is a self-realization. You have to realize what is your body potential. And the only way to realize that is by trying different things. You can try diets, try exercise stuff, doing different motions, doing different activities, different foods, different supplements, different dietary. You just have to try everything. Try it all. All these different diets, these fad diets, or these recommendations for like keto or, whatever, alkaline diets, vegetarian, vegan, whatever. There's all these different types of diets. Just try them. See what you like. And what's interesting is that the stuff that you really didn't think that you would like, you got to try that stuff, because in many cases you've been avoiding things because you told yourself you didn't like it. You've been avoiding it for decades. Just like this with foods, right? If you had a food that you didn't like when you were a kid, you may never tried it afterwards, right? I don't like mushrooms, and so I barely ever eat mushrooms. I never even try it, so I don't expose myself to the potential benefits. And then I come to find out that there's lots of benefits from mushrooms, and there's psychological benefits. They say it's brain food. And an interesting thing is, some of these mushrooms, they kind of look like brains, but mushrooms are good for your brains. Who would have known, right? So you have to step out of your comfort zone and try different things, because if you continue to do the same things, then you get the same results, right? That's the definition of insanity. Is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So don't do that, right? And in many cases, it's the things that you have been trying not to do. You got to do the exact opposite of what you've been doing in many cases to get the results that you are unable to get. You know, liposuction may be one of those things where you're like, oh, I'll never do that. I would never get these procedures. And you know, but then someday you're like, you know what? I've tried all this other stuff and it's not working for me. Maybe liposuction will work. Hey, it's worked for these people. Maybe it'll work for me. Just, you got to shift the mind. And to make the decision, sometimes you're standing on the ledge, just like you're looking down. You're like, oh my gosh, it's so scary. But sometimes you just have to jump to realize that you can fly. Because sometimes when you jump off that cliff and you're like, it's scary because you got a little free fall for a second, but then the wind catches under your wings and you soar. And that's what I think a lot of these girls are realizing. They're getting this procedure and it elevates their confidence and they start to feel that, you know, it's like they start to fly. And they realize that, wait a second, if I just improve some of these other things, my confidence will be elevated even more. And they'll start to soar. And you'll see them as time goes. You'll see some of our patients that are 2, 3, 4 years out, and their confidence is off the charts, right? They feel so good about themselves, and you might look at them now and be like, oh, they've always been that way. They were never embarrassed. That's not true. That's not true. Look at, this is Rebecca. This chick was insecure. I mean, you can look just at looking at the picture. Look at the pictures of yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way the eye contact that you have, the amount of times that you smile, the pictures that you have. Are you hiding? How many pictures do you take of yourself? That's an indication of how you feel, because I'll tell you what, when you're feeling yourself, when you're feeling good about yourself, these girls, look at, all of a sudden you see them popping out their booty, showing their hourglass figure, wearing their crop tops, you know, doing the things that they always wanted to do, but never felt comfortable, okay? New clothes that you could never fit into because you were so embarrassed or you just felt like they never fit. That can change. It can change quickly. Right now we have this 15% off. This is an opportunity to get this procedure at a significant discount. It's an opportunity for you to take that leap. Now is the time. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Now, if you're ready, you know, the first step is you can get your pricing by getting a quick quote. That quick quote can be found on our website. It's a simple link. And then once you have the quote and you have an idea of what the pricing is, then the next step is getting the formal consultation. The formal consultation is a 30-minute phone call with me where you're going to send pictures, answer some basic questions about your health, and when we talk, we'll discuss all your concerns. I'll inspire you, motivate you, and show you how we are going to make the changes that you want and achieve the goals that you're looking for. So that's the formal consultation. 15% off. It's a big deal right now. So when it's time for you to draw that line in the sand and make that decision that enough is enough, then you got to get started on this plan. It's just taking the first step, and that first step is getting that consultation. So I appreciate you all for jumping on here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I hope I provided valuable information and a little entertainment for you, and I hope to see you next time. And don't forget to get that consultation.